Hello and once again welcome in our beautiful marina in Can Pastilla on Mallorca. We are here to introduce you to this beautiful 40 feet Beneteau Gran Turismo, but before we look into the details, please check in with Joris at the office.
Welcome to first class sailing. Before you go on board, we have to do some paperwork. So the first thing is the check-in list. You have all the technical details here and also the check-in video. You have the QR code, so you can watch every time when you're on board and you have some questions, you can check the video again. So everything is super explained in this video. So here we have all the locations from everything what is important on board. And then you have the list with all the equipment, so you can check on board if you have everything on board. So then we have the proper check-in list, what we do together on board, check-in and check-out. We go through this list and we'll check everything together. Then we have the Spanish contract, what we need to sign. So you have it on board every time. When you have a control from the police, you need to show this. Then we have the invoice, the provision you need to pay in cash, and the charter pack you can pay with your credit card. It's no problem, but please don't forget your PIN.
Before we check the cockpit, let's have a quick look at this beautiful area here at the stern. There's of course our bathing platform with the dinghy, but really nice feature right here, an electrical grill and a sink. Operating this grill is very simple. Simply push the button on, and then to increase the heat you keep the plus button pushed, and to decrease the minus, and if you want to switch it off again, simple. One of the things I really like about this Beneteau 40 feet is this very spacious cockpit slash salon. Here we don't only have a lot of space to sit and to dine, but also lots of storage. Let me show you how to get to it. So all these storage compartments are hidden beneath our seating areas. So if you want to open one, simply pull or lift and pull and fold down, and voila. Here for instance, we have our ropes, different length and sizes, long, middle, short. Here we have under our second anchor line, anchor ball, and bucket. And then here, very important, we have our life vests and distress signals. One important element right here, this particular compartment on the port side, is our main switch. This should always be switched on, but in case you experience any power cuts on board, make sure this is always switched on green, and also your shore cables are connected. The gas bottles are usually hidden somewhere in the cockpit or just up here. Also here on the Beneteau, and it's right here on the starboard side. The access to the gas compartment, it's right beneath this cushion. Just twist and open. Here we have this amazing foldable table. You can choose the option needed for your seating arrangement. Loosen the screw, turn, and secure again. You pull below the table, you pull this one down. You just push here, halfway. And now you have the support you need for the other half of the table. So now we're here at the stern of the port side, and there are some switches you want to know what they're about. Here we have light switches, for our cockpit. And then here we have like electric windows. Very cool. And this one is my personal favorite. This is our swimming platform. If you want to bring it down to the water, make sure you push this little red button down, and then you can operate your platform. If you want to use your dinghy, just submerge the swimming platform all the way, and Nacho will tell you what to keep in mind when you want to use the outboarder.
Hello, I'm going to explain the 2.5 horsepower outboard. Okay. The first thing we will do is to open the valve for the fuel. Then we will make sure the man overboard is properly attached. We will check the gear is not on, and we will open the air valve on top of the tank. Then, if the engine is cold, we will take a little bit of choke out and just pull softly but firmly. And the choke back in. Ready to stop it. Most common mistakes are not to open the tank, not to open the air valve, try to start it with the gear on, not having the main overboard properly attached, working with the choke out, or feeding too much gas beforehand.
Right here in the center of your saloon also is the entrance to the heart of the engine, or the heart of the boat, the engine. Actually, there are two. So the first thing that catches your eyes, the generator. But here there are two beautiful Volvo engines. So right here on top of the generator we have our main fuses, one for the generator and one for our shore power. And then if you turn around, we have those two beautiful engines. Here you see, like, if you want to check the oil level, it's right here, easy to access. And then we have the cooling system for here, which is actually also on the main engines. And right there are your battery circuits. Before you begin your sea adventure and you fire up your engine, maybe it's a good idea to have a look if the cooling system is actually cooling your engines properly. In case you find anything like seagrass or any other things in the filter, please call us. Use the number from the hotline. Don't try to fix it yourself. Just give us a call and we will take care of it. So now we completed the cockpit. Now we're gonna start with our Helming Station. There are quite a few interesting details and functions. Let's have a closer look what we can do with them. One of those other things I really love about this boat is a sunroof that you can open and close just by pushing the button. So here you see all these instruments, plotter, several switches, and most importantly our ignition for both engines. And to start the engine, push the button. So you see also here now the display becomes active. If you want to switch it off, simply push the button again. You know, always hold it pressed for up to 2 seconds. Same with the ignition until the LED turns off. Well, the switches up here, this for our navigation instruments. Always switch it on so that your plotter can start. And then we have the water pump, which you always want to have switched on so that you have pressure on board. And then there's your bilge pumps and the battery circuits. So here we have our two bilge pumps, one for the front and one for the back section, after section. So they are automatic, operated if you're in the forward position, and you can also use them manually by simply pushing. Every time the pump works, you will have this sound. It sounds like an alarm tone, but it's really making you only aware that the pump is working. If it accidentally ever takes longer than a few minutes, you know, make sure that the switches are in neutral position. Here we have our plotter, you know, currently with the map chart. And if you want to change the settings, you start by pushing the start button. So currently, as you can see, we're in German. So let's say you want to switch to English, you go to Einstellungen, which is settings, again Einstellungen, and then you have here Sprache, which is language, you know, and other options. You can also go back, and then here you have different kind of maps, like our navigation chart, or also combinations like the map and the echolode. Here we have a button for the anchor, which means like you have two options to operate anchor and anchor chain. One is right here from the helm, and the other one is on the front with a remote control. There are a few things you need to keep in mind and have to check before you start. So before you can drop the anchor, of course, you have to make sure that the security line is disengaged, unhooked. So here in the corner, we have our remote control. To drop anchor, just push down. And to bring it up, just push up. In case the electrical motor for the anchor winch is not working properly, there's a handle right there next to the remote control, so you can operate the winch manually as well. Here's our sunroof, open and close signal, and the windshield washer and the windshield wiper. So here we have one of the monitors for our engines. This is for the starboard engine. You see you can read the fuel level, you can have the fuel rate or the fuel remaining. Especially the fuel level is very helpful to monitor while you fill up the tanks, because then you can avoid spilling the diesel over the boat and into the water. So further starboard we have our bow thruster, the joystick, and our throttle control. For the bow thruster, to activate, ignition has to be turned on, and then simultaneously push those two, and then you can simply by pushing the stick. Please remember, never more than 3 seconds at a time. Switch it off by pushing the button. Of course, usually we operate the boat with our main throttle control with both engines. However, if you want to use our joystick, make sure those two are in neutral, and then you can take control with the joystick simply by pushing the docking button. And right here at the bottom we have several options to choose from. Also, you see the display when we are neutral right now, and when the gear is engaged. So here you can always visually confirm that you are neutral. If you want to take control of the engine with the joystick, just push the bottom left button, docking, and then simply with your index finger and your thumb, you can now steer the boat forward, sideward. If you only twist, then it will turn on the spot, like making a donut. And then if you want to move sideways, you can push simply to the left or to the right. You might want to support from time to time this by pushing your bow thruster. So if you ever need to have more power while operating with the joystick, push the high mode, and then automatically you will have more power on the engine using. So be aware that while operating the boat with the joystick, your steering wheel will be locked. If you need to leave the boat and you want to make sure that nobody drives away with it, use this chip to lock the ignition. Simply hold it over your ignition board, and now you can see it's locked, indicated by this LED. To unlock, simply hold it, and then ignition turns automatically back on. Right here below the seat at the starboard section of the helm station, we have two important safety features. So here in front we have basically our fuel cut, where we can cut the diesel for the engines, and here in the back we have the fire suppress systems for the engine room. In the case of a fire in the engine room, you simply have to pull up those handles for 10 seconds and then release again. In any case, when entering the boat, make sure you read the instructions carefully so that you fully understand the functions. So after we completed the upper deck, let's go below and see what we find here. First thing, when you go below deck, you will see on the port side there is our battery circuits, which you usually don't have to worry about, and then right below is our monitor for the water tank and also for the battery. So here at the battery section we have 3 batteries: domestic, the engine battery, and then auxiliary, which is for the bow thruster. And here's our display for the water tank. As you can see, at the moment it's 3/4 full. And just below we have the generator and also the main switchers for our 2 power circuits. So the top switch of the 2 is for our service power, the one below is for the air condition. With those switches you choose the power you want to use. So land stands for shore. If you want to use the power for the generator, from the generator you have to switch to the other position, and the same for the air condition. If you need to use the power from the generator, just twist the switch and choose generator. So let's have a quick look at how the generator works. We simply push the start button and you see the RPMs are already going up. So now if you want to use our air condition, Give it a few seconds. So now you can hear and see that the air conditioner is running. Here you see how much power and percentage the air conditioner is drawing from our generator. It's at plus or minus 40%, and the ampere and also the hertz. Right around the corner from our main switchboard, here we have our air condition control. Simply started by pushing this button, and there you see is like the actual temperature. By pressing down, you can choose the temperature you would like to have. Give it a few seconds and now you can probably hear it already. So it's starting and now the air conditioner is running. Each boat of our fleet is equipped with those Wi-Fi devices. And they operate with a SIM card, and if you want to switch it on, simply keep this button pushed for a few seconds, and then it takes a moment to boot. And it's very simple. The network is always the name of the boat you're on, and the password is printed on the back of the device. You can also check the credentials for the network, when you actually double click the device, and here you see again name of the network and your password. Power source for those Wi-Fi devices is an accu battery. Fully charged, it usually lasts for a couple of hours. However, to ensure an uninterrupted service, you might want to keep it plugged in all the time. With this little one, you have unlimited Wi-Fi access all the time. Just don't check your business emails, promise. Right across the room, here on starboard, we have our cooking station. Operated by gas, as you remember. Make sure both valves are open, the one in the cockpit, and then the second one is right here. The yellow one down here, that's our valve. In the upper position it's closed. To open it, just push back. The light switch for the bathroom, intuitively it's right there. When you're using the bathroom or when you're using the toilet, always fill the bowl with water first. And now you have two options. You can choose the automatic, which basically keeps flushing and putting water into the bowl again and again and again. So simply keep it pushed and then it's keeps flushing and everything out. Or after you have filled it, you can simply just flush. And if you want to refill, you can do it again this way. So if you still have questions, you can always refer to the manual with all the explanations. You also have our hotline where you can always call 24/7. The manual you find right here together with the port book, first aid kit, compass, flashlight, etc. And right next to it we have the binocular, the ship's documents and the toolbox and the sea maps. Thank you for watching, enjoy your vacation and see you around.
And when you want to have some extra fun, we have some SUPs for rent. We have always nice offers for you so you can take it with you on board. And in a few seconds I will show you how it works. To know the size of your pedal, you need to take the handle and then you pull your arm straight up and then you close it again, and this is your size when you stand on the board. When you stand on the board, try to stand wide with your feet, soften your knees so that you have a better control over the board. And then you take the pedal like a triangle with long straight arms, then you have more power. When you put it in the water, then you're also using your upper body to put all your power into the pedal, and then the lower arm pulls and the upper arm pushes against.